to everyone. Wait, did this thumbnail work? The thumbnail don't work, I'm not starting. Thumbnail didn't work. Alright, hold up. Where's my thumbnail? Alright, that's fine. Does it show up on my... Who cares? Okay, welcome. I'm just doing more Zelda-like stuff, except this time we're gonna add some unnecessary multiplayer features. So, what I have so far, I have the lobby in the game. This person can host and hit enemies on his screen, but if another person joins, all it does is create a second player, which glitches out for a bit because they're on the same spots. It also creates another player here, but none of the enemies are synced at the moment, so basically we only have connecting and adding a player right now, but now we're going to add actual, what do you call it? Syncing of the other dude. Multiplayer. So, for this, I'm gonna copy. I was going to make this, an authoritative server shenanigans. Hold up. But I think if I do that, I'm gonna do it a little bit later. First, I just want this to work. So, let's just see what I did to get it to work. Looks like... Let's remove all the enemies first. And then... So I've never actually done anything with enemies syncing over the internet. I've only ever had players. So that's gonna be a fun experiment. So, alright. Looks like what I did was, hey Oni, if not network master, return. So, how I have set this up with all the peer-to-peer stuff I've done in the past. No, this is not Zelda Battle Royale. But, okay. What we're gonna do is, this section's just gonna be puppet. There's gonna be actual player logic, and then down here is gonna be syncing. So let's see. Gonna have some of those. Slave position, slave velocity, yeah. In this case, it's going to be... Yeah, Nintendo would take that down in a heartbeat. That's why this is not a Zelda Battle Royale. So we need move direction. I'm not sure if we're going to need knock direction. Honestly, I kind of want to combine move direction and knock direction, but we'll see if I bother with that in a second. Yeah, I think... No, we're not. Are we? No. Maybe. We'll see. So we might have to sync the knockback direction, but we're definitely gonna need... Or I don't even know if we necessarily need the sprite direction. Definitely gonna need move direction, maybe hit stun, probably not state. All of the things like that is gonna be client side anyway. I don't care about cheaters because this isn't a battle royale. So, okay. Well, I guess we need everything to have this, so it's gonna be a slave it's going to be in the entity function, all the slave variables. So slave position equals 2. Do we even have velocity? We don't even have velocity. I don't... Yeah, I think... we don't even need move direction, do we? Let's just start with position and animation. Actually... let's see about this. So, yeah. This is gonna be buggy because I'm doing this differently than normal. So we're gonna have the host process all the enemies, and then just send it outwards. Yeah, let's do something like that. Maybe we shouldn't do this in the entity, not yet at least. Let's just worry about the players right now. And then at the bottom, just gonna rset some stuff. It's gonna be oh, they took down DMCA Royale? It's funny. Oh, can't call it that. Hold up. Wait, I can't just do that. What am I doing? Oh, fuck. Hold up. Okay. Oh, but we can't just do anim switch. Fuck. Okay. Here. Okay. Yeah, okay. What I had the first time. I'm gonna have should just make original levels. I could get people not wanting to actually make their own game. Copying other stuff is so easy. Now let's see if this works. Okay. Gonna have to, here, hold up. Let me make the screen size smaller. Learned that yesterday. Actually, I don't want it to be a third. What's a good number? Wait, no. That needs to be that. It has to be. Yeah, that's fine. Export that. Okay, animation's not working. What is that? Did I not reset it? No, I did. Oh. Wait, what? I don't know if that fixed it. Oh, it definitely didn't. Oh no. Yeah, that's good. Is it good? I don't know. Let's see. No, not good. Because animation's not changing. For some reason. What up, Game Endeavor? Isn't that changing? Somewhere this isn't. Oh. that was good. So now, if we try this, should work. Yep. Oh, well, not quite. Need to sync the flip H. Now I'm thinking it would be better if I just didn't do any of the flip H and just had a slightly larger sprite sheet and not have to send those bytes, because it could all be included in this. So that would be a little less network intensive. But if I'm going to talk about network intensive, then I should talk about how I'm doing all this shit every frame into every player. But look, it's working. Now I gotta figure out how I want to sync swords. It's gonna be an issue. And should work with any amount of players, by the way. Right now they all spawn in the same spot, which is not ideal, but right now you could just keep adding more and more people. Alright. And maybe I'll, maybe once this gets to some playable state, then I'll, if any of y'all wanna try it along with me, I could paste a build in the chat or something. But that's if this gets to a playable state in the next however many couple hours I stream for. I'm shooting for doing streams more often, but shorter, instead of doing like a 6-hour stream once a month. But I could do like 2 hours a day. Not every day, but 2-hour streams a couple times a week. Alright, so how we gonna do this? So right away I'm thinking the create item thing, use item, this is gonna have to be a sync function. And then instead of just using use item, we're gonna RPC. So let's see if this works in single player. Alright, it still works. And now let's see if some stuff with holding the inputs is definitely gonna break, but let's see if it works at all. No, it doesn't work at all. Alright. Okay. Why not? Let's see how I did this here. something with fireballs around here. Create fireball. So creates it, sets that, sure. It's a sync function. Blah blah blah. I don't see why it wouldn't work. What shenanigans do we have here? I mean, we have stuff here, like network syncing stuff. But I was thinking, what was I thinking? Let's see. We just need, all we need to do is make it work. Let me get rid of this right now. If y'all want a little, want to get up to date on what I'm doing since I didn't show this at the beginning. Here's the network code. This is all multiplayer Pong stuff. And main thing I changed was this shit. No, it's not Zelda Battle Royale. Read the title. But basically it creates a level, connects some stuff. Here's what handles adding new players. Blah blah blah. I don't know how to explain it. This is just stuff that I never really touched much of this networking code. I copied and pasted it from the Pong stuff into my Mario thing, which then went into my Metroid thing and got a bunch of changes, which now is coming into here. So I don't actually know how much of this works. I mean, I know looking at this, oh, it's creating the host, and then the server's made, and the tree has the server set, or blah blah blah, and then things can connect. But I never actually just put all this stuff together myself. But main thing is, I copied and pasted this whole thing, and all I changed was map to something else, and that's all you need to get started. And then in the script on the main scene of whatever this is, you just need something like this. And the main thing you'll have to be changing around is whatever variables you need to set at the beginning, which in my case I only changed this. So that's all you need for a lobby. I kind of want to throw together, once I make one of these myself instead of copy and pasting it, but I would kind of want to throw together an easy thing to, like a template project where people could kind of just throw their game in, and then they'll still have to do all the actual networking syncing logic themselves, but a quick lobby thing, since I've been using this as a quick lobby template. But I don't know. What was I doing? Sword's not working. So should I sync I'd rather not have this right now. Let's start with not being able to hold the item. Yeah, because it doesn't think that the input's being held, I think. No, it should though. No, it wouldn't. Let's see. That's a lot of things to change right now. Let's just figure out how to sync this input. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's just create a whole thing telling, here. Input. Okay, yeah, let's do something new. We're gonna have an input array. Right now it's only gonna be checking one input, but hold on. Do I have a loop controls? Sure do. Input equals empty. Input if alright, let's do something like that, and then slave input. No, slave input. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, then it's fine, because neither do I. Okay, so we actually need input to be here. I don't know where this matters right now. Here's all I'm putting the new stuff. Input. Ugh, I need to call it something else. Fuck. Let's call it current inputs. And this is hacky right now, but it's fine. I don't know. Let's see. Well, hold on, let's see if this works in single player at all. Works in single player. No. Fuck. Alright, so I kinda have to redo all of the stored and current item logic, which is a shame, but let's get rid of all this shit, because that amounts to nothing. Okay. And so here's what we're gonna do instead. We are going to strip away half of this shit. A lot of this was built so that other entities would be able to use the items the same way that the player can, but I'm just gonna say that doesn't matter because the other entities in this case are just gonna be the other players, so I might as well just make them work for the players. So forget it. Definitely has swing, so let's just give him swing. Why did I call it destroy? That's goofy. Oh, this is all for if it's being held down. So for now, we're not gonna allow it to be held down. No delete on hit. None of that. should need that. Okay. We don't need it for the press. So this should just have swinging. Yeah. So we can no longer hold the sword out, but it might work a little bit better. And we also need to... Hold up. Now this shit doesn't matter either. But I guess I could delete this safely. Yep. Okay. Wait. Alright, work. Works in single player. Works in multiplayer. Except that is not getting synced because I'm not syncing the sprite direction. Right? All it needs is sprite direction, so let's just sync that as well. Damn, multiplayer. Cool. So now we need we need the players to get damaged from each other, which is gonna require a lot of fucking with this. Oof. Yeah. So we don't have enemy death anymore. Let's just remove enemies from the game entirely. Not even gonna worry about this. I have all this stuff saved elsewhere, by the way, so don't worry. Does this game still run right now? No. Oh, yeah, don't need that. Cool. So now, it's this shit. If I use, I don't know what that does. Get rid of this. If not body. God, I hate how I wrote this. So if the body is not an entity and it's not an item, continue? Oh, so yeah, so that skips the rest of that. Continues to the next thing in the for loop. Otherwise, if it is an entity or is an item, blah blah blah. If hit stun is 0 and body get damage is greater than 0. Alright, so I think what this is going to do now is hurt the player. Yeah. And body get parent does not equal self. Alright, that's a start. It's not syncing the flashing, but that's fine for now. Alright, let's figure that out right now. Because it's not syncing hit stun. I guess I'd rather not have to sync hit stun. That's something that's only going to be dealt with in the client for now. Hold on. Okay. I guess I could sync hit stun, whatever, who cares. This is more of a proof of concept than an actual game. If I decide I'm gonna work on this for more than a couple hours, then I will think of better things to do here. And it didn't work. Oh, you know why? Okay. Let's just copy. Put this into oh, I don't want it like that. There we go. So, all right. Why did I delete the enemy death thing? That could be useful. So now I need to implement dying and whatever. Well, here's where I stand right now. This game doesn't really... Who cares about this game if there's no enemies and stuff? Like, who's gonna play it? Who's actually going to play a Zelda Battle Royale? A multiplayer Zelda game should have co-op dungeon crawling and whatnot. So I need to figure out the enemy stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to do all that shit in peer-to-peer. Because then I have to, well, I guess I can. Yeah, I could do it all peer-to-peer. Feel kind of dumb for deleting all the enemy stuff just now. But I could copy and paste it from the other project in 2 seconds. Yeah, so... Oh, but I just deleted a lot of stuff that would have been useful. Alright. Let me think. I gotta think of a not stupid way of doing this. So I don't... Let's get rid of the who cares stuff right now. Who cares about that? Let's not sync hit stun. We have players able to walk around and they can hit each other, but I'm about to remove that just right now. That's all good. What's with that face, Oni? What did I just do wrong? Bring our enemies back. Ooh. Okay, cool. So, what we're gonna wanna do is... I don't want to sync enemy positions every frame. Right? I'll sync their positions. Well, I don't really want to sync player positions every frame either. I don't want to sync all this shit every frame. So I could cut down on some bits and bytes by restructuring. I don't even have to restructure the sprite sheet. I just have to create more animations. Right? Let's do that. We're gonna need left and right animations. Hey dude, how's the new PC holding up? It's great, and thank you so much for donating again. It was super generous. It has been very good. And these streams have been better because I just realized that the reason the stream lagged every single time I streamed wasn't because of my internet. My internet was fine, but it was because my CPU was barely handling anything at that stage of its life. But now, well, I don't know how it looks to all y'all, but it's been saying excellent connection every single time I've streamed instead of it dropping to yellow. But yeah, it's been real nice. Okay, so let's do this. So this is gonna be idle right. And we're gonna make sure that flip H is off, and then have idle left. It's on. Why is it doing that? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna have to do the same thing for all of these. Oh, walk right. And you may be wondering, shouldn't I have to change all of the flip H's for all the ups and downs as well? And my answer to that is I don't think anyone's gonna notice, so no. All that's gonna mean is the sprite is gonna be flipped sometimes when you're facing up or down if you moved left right before it, but only gonna notice because I said it. And it's not even doing it actually. Oh, that's because that. Now it's going to do that. Yeah. See how the foot switching on the idle down? But who cares? Now that's one more thing we don't have to sync, which is good. Let's reorganize this a little bit. Cool. I just want to minimize networking load on the player a little bit before I start trying to sync dozens of enemies. But I'll have the enemies not be processing while they won't be processing or be syncing if they're not visible on screen. In fact, we don't even have rooms and stuff yet. So, okay, I just removed the fact that, wait. Let's turn friendly fire on, or off real quick. First, does this crash? No. Oh. Okay, that is the one case where it definitely needs to be correct here. Did I not finish making these animations, or? Was it like that before? Yeah, that looks better. Now I want, what was I just doing? Okay, that. So let's see if They still do shenanigans. Why does the mid-swing sword animation have the curve ahead of the sword? What do you mean? Why does the mid-swing sword animation have the curve ahead of the sword? Shouldn't it be a follow trail behind the sword? Talking about how it's ugly? Probably. A lot of this I did a while ago and didn't really try to play with too much. There's a curve on the sword showing its swing path. What do you mean? Talking about that? Oh, that's just how the sprite looks. That's just how it looked in Zelda, so I kept it. It's supposed to be like that line right there is supposed to be still coming off from there. Like that's the look they were probably trying to go for. But because they didn't want an extra frame, they just stuck the trail on that end too. And I probably just didn't put all the positions at the exact right spot, so maybe it looked better in game than it looks here, but that's just how it was. Alright, so I don't need to set the sprite direction every frame, nor do I need to set the animation every frame. The only thing I want to set every frame is here, but yeah, I think these are going to have to move to entity, and then I'll only rset right here. I'll only rset the animation there. I'll only rset the position, like, well, I guess position is going to be every frame. And then I'll rset something else, sprite direction. I'll do I'd rather have like a last sprite direction variable, and if last sprite direction is not current sprite direction, then I set that. It's more processing power on everyone's individual computers, but it's less work on the network, which is good. Well, I can do that later. Who cares? Let's add some new actual stuff. So we're gonna, well, maybe I do need to put that stuff in entity anyway, unless, because otherwise I have to add networking stuff for every single dude here. But I'll do it. Slave position. Oh, you know what? Making this vector 2 is why it glitches out for a half second right at the beginning. So fix that. Slave position. We don't need animation. Honestly, I think we just need this. Yeah, I think this is good. And we're only gonna do this stuff on the host, so if not network master, or if not, get tree is network server, then position equals slave position, return. Down here, rset slave position to position. I'm gonna undelete this stuff. Alright, anyone with networking experience wanna chime in on why anything I'm doing is wrong right now? Alright, well, that doubled. Those look, looks like they're pretty synced. I need to make them play the animation, but okay. Let's see if player one could hurt stuff. Oh, things don't die anymore. I deleted so much stuff earlier. Silly. Stupid. So it's gonna be the entity. We need you. If I close this, I don't care about this anymore. Gonna need enemy death. Sync function enemy death. And RPC enemy death. So that should sync that. Let's see if enemies could die here. Oh, and that's why they're getting combined, wasn't it? Duplicated that accidentally somehow. Alright, they're dying, but that's actually supposed to be here, I think. Yeah. So it works in single player at the moment. Oh, that worked. That worked for player one. Player one could kill stuff and it will show up for player two. But player two can also kill stuff and it shows up for player two. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense. Cool. Well, that works. Things that are currently not synced are anything right here with changing the textures and stuff. So honestly, I think I should just sync that in the entity thing. Maybe, we'll see. This should get animations back on for both players. Yep, they're dancing. And they're dancing. I think player 1 will be able to see, yeah. Player 1 sees all the hurt stuff, but not player 2. Cool. So we have enemies working now. That's nice. We still need a lot of other stuff. Still need cameras. So, if y'all were at the stream yesterday, we worked on some camera stuff, and Game Endeavor actually went and fixed all of it. But I think we're not actually going to use those variable sized cameras here. I think we're just going to use very basic the same cameras we had in the Zelda series, which, to be honest, I haven't actually used in quite a while. Well, let's just start with each player having their own camera. So we're gonna start with that. It won't be too much of a task to turn it into an actual Zelda camera, as long as all the code is its own thing. As long as that's the only thing that's current, then it doesn't matter. In fact, we could delete these cameras for every other player. So those cameras exist for every player, just aren't current. Check it out. This guy can move around and have his own deal. This guy can move around and have his own deal. Yeah, it's all good. Alright, so we have a little bit of game here. We have 2 players that could kill enemies. Kinda wanna figure out the camera right now though. Let me think. Yeah. Forget that. I disagree with me. What we're gonna do instead is go back to having one camera here. And it's going to do a little something else. So okay. Player equals get node string ID get tree get Okay. Alright, so this should give us basically the same thing that we had a minute ago, just with extra steps. Oops. Yeah, it's all good. And now we could do we could change this around, so. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a gander at what I did before. Oh shit. Do I have Godot 3? Yep. Okay. Yeah, I had all the get grid position, blah blah blah. Let's start with all this. So, nah, don't need that right now. Okay, that didn't work at all. Work. Alright. Hey Pink Nuka, what up? Okay. Alright, got that back. I would rather have wider openings. Alright, let's test that with multiple players. Yeah. Alright, they can both go wherever they want. That's good. Cool. That's neat. Current issue is enemies are able to walk off screen. Hasn't happened, but it can happen. So what I need to figure out is having the enemies not only lock to the current string, but also stop processing if they're not on screen. And fortunately I covered that on my 3.0 tutorials. And also, if I just have them stop processing, then it should also stop updating that, which means it'll save on network performance as well as CPU performance. So that's good. Can your sword hit down and right yet? No. And that's what I get for trying to be way too faithful to the originals. If this project right here ends up being fun, then maybe it'll turn into an actual game with a whole brand new art style. We'll see. Are you gonna make a HUD? I have one with just hearts. I need to figure out how to. Oh, I could. Yeah, let me throw in the HUD right now. give well, let's set the max health of players to oh, it is at 3. Set to that, and then personally, I prefer the minimal HUD to the big Link's Awakening HUD. Yeah, well, this is just hearts, so getting what you want here. Okay, so it's tiny. We need to scale this up. Perfect. And then we need to do this. How am I doing? Alright, we're gonna need to do some stuff to sync player health. Also, they zip around because they're on the same spawn position. My bad. So it's actually seeming to be working. Looks like I don't need to sync player health. We'll have players in charge of their own deaths. I don't care about cheating in this project. And caring too much about that stuff makes me hate working on networking. But, okay, so we have a HUD. Really bad HUD, but we have a HUD. That's neat. Alright, back to this other stuff. If y'all watched my Zelda stuff, I did this there as well. know if it has to be mask or layer, so I'm just gonna set both. And to test this, let's see if they could leave the room. They cannot. Alright. But that's not going to work for player 2. It's not going to work for player 2. Yeah. So I'm going to do something a lot lazier. Welcome to the Discord, Pink Nuka. Oh, I guess I could have just made a circle. So what we're gonna do here is just stick in a barrier for each of the doors. So that's easier. I guess I can go in tiles. Oops. Oh, damn it. Hold on. See, that works. Check this out. If we draw around these dudes. Oh wait, but it's gonna clear it. So, not gonna work quite yet. Hold up. I don't remember set tile. Set cell. Set cell v tile 2 -1. I'm also gonna want to hide this. Now check it out. They're all stuck in there. Easy. And the player could walk over it too. Easy, easy, easy. So that's the lame fix for that. But this one I'm not releasing the source code to, at least not nearly in the shape or form. So who cares? Now we need so technically that's enough. But now the issue is, were we to make an entire room full of these dudes, it's currently processing them off in the distance right now, which is bad. Even if they're off screen, they're still shaking about. And if this was in multiplayer, that's extra bytes they're trying to send, extra packets. For each and every one of these, they're sending a vector to. And that's a no. So we need to figure out how to disable them despite the camera handling's funky, because there's only one camera and it just changes who the camera's following depending on the person. We're gonna need something else separate from the camera that follows the camera that does some other things, I think. Or what we could do we could have some logic saying, if player, I assume you just use a visibility enabler. Yeah, but it has to be, this is multiplayer, so the visibility enabler will be different for one person versus the other person. And since player 1, the host, runs all the enemy logic and player 2 just grabs it, it's gonna, if player 2 walks over there, it's not gonna work. But I am going to use a visibility enabler. That is correct. But I'm thinking of some extra stuff. Like, what I think I'm gonna do is, we're gonna have three states that this enemy checker scene, whatever it's gonna be called, will be in. So there's going to be one for every player. If player 2 or player 3 or player 4 or player 5 is in the same room as player 1, then we'll ignore the rest. Else, if they're in a different room, we're gonna get a list of every single enemy currently on screen, and send that to player 1, the host, and then player 1 will process them, or something like that. I don't know. Our third option is ignore this for now, which I might go with. Our fourth option is ensure that player 2 is always in the same room as player 1, but that's not fun. I want them to be able to run around and do their own thing whenever they want. Let me think. Oh, yeah, what I could do is get the visibility in. Yeah, I'll just do that. Get the visibility enabler. I'll do this so every time the room changes, I'll get the visibility. I'll use the visibility enablers, which will constantly be added to each client's. We'll stick like visible enemy array right here, and then we'll send every player will send their visible enemy array to the host, and then the host will combine all the arrays and remove any duplicates, and then that will everything in that list will be set to process, and everything else their process will be set to false. I'll see you, dude. See you, Pink Nuka. But yeah, I think that'll do it. So not going to be an enabler, it's going to be a notifier. Not going to use signals. Maybe going to use signals. No. We're going to do this the way I did this in the Zelda tutorials, by just having a big area 2D over the camera. Oh, I did that perfectly. And then I don't know what to call this. This is going to be happening every frame, but I don't care. We're going to, for area in, no, for body in, area get overlapping bodies. If body is in group entity, I think that's what I called it, yes. And body get type equals enemy. So here. Okay, so Okay, well, I'm gonna put this in here for now. So now we have a running list of every enemy on each player's screen. So yeah, host has, or let's just do size for now. Okay. 198. Now let's see if this works for everyone. Yeah. Player 1 and 2 both have 4. Now player 2 has 1. Player 2 has 98, yeah, etc. So okay. So what we're going to need to do we need to some shenanigans here. So let's do it's like the process function now, and you still got invisible enemies, so you know what? That's all we need. So you do not need this. Let's keep it simple. Okay. Sorry, Moby, you have pay attention right now. Do enemies have unique identifiers that are the same across machines? Can just use a dictionary, if so, probably easier. They do have unique identifiers. I don't know how a dictionary would be easier. I think the way I'm doing it's going to be fine. Basically, we're just adding all the enemies to an array, making sure removing duplicates in the array. We don't even need to remove duplicates in the array, but it'll help performance. And then for each thing in the array, set to turn the process on. And we're gonna do that like once every few seconds, or we'll update it every time an enemy dies or the player changes rooms. But for now, we're gonna do it every frame because I didn't figure that out yet. But if is network server, you never have to remove duplicates. Yeah, you never have to. But there are going to be duplicates because each player is going to be trying to add the same enemy to the same array, basically, if they're in the same room. If is network server for enemy in to begin with. Not in a dictionary is all I'm saying. It will replace it automatically, not become a... Oh, I see what... Okay, well, maybe. Alright, so this might work. Let's see if it works at all right now. It'll also help if camera had wider view. So those dudes down there are disabled. Now this one's enabled. So let me just... Trying to watch a live stream while downloading Warframe. I'll just download Warframe. That's probably a better use of your time right now. I have no idea what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, so it's working for player 1. I have a feeling the way I fucked around with the enemies elsewhere, it's not going to work quite as well. Also, hold up. Actually, no. Yeah, that should be fine. Should be fine as is. Doing awesome, I'm thank you. Why disable enemies optimization? Yes, for both everyone's computer and also, ooh, that broke everything. For everyone's computer and the network as well. Okay, interesting. The player 2 doesn't even see. player 2 walks in here, yeah, player 2 has no idea that those enemies even exist until player 1 walks into there. Yeah, see? And player 2 is not controlling the process of anything at all right now, which is a shame. Oh, it's almost 3 p.m. right now, which I'm going out in 2 hours and I have homework to do. But I need to figure this out. The enemy reveal looks like a concept for its own game. It almost feels like Fog of War for RTS games. That's what it initially reminded me of. Alright, let's figure out. Because if it's not the server, then what I'm doing in this line is ID 1 is the server, then append visible enemies, yep, and then my visible enemies array. Alright, let's just have, I don't care about this. Let's have a regular guy host, and then let's join with the editor. Okay, so all of the enemies are getting sent there for some reason. And they're all colliding with each other right now, which is lagging up the entire game. Interesting. Well, then let's try something else. Ugh, that's annoying though. Imagine this co-op game. You can only see your partner's enemies and you need to communicate with them. That would be... It's like that game, Screen Peek, where you have to cheat off of other people's screens. Or screen cheat, I guess it was called. In order to figure out what the other player was. But it would be that, but co-op. That would be interesting. I don't know if this is going to do anything. Oh, sorry. not quite the same issue. Crash. Alright, so I broke everything. Apparently. Oh, I have a better idea. Forget all this. I keep talking, nobody explodes. I love that game, dude. And I just got Them Bombs, which is like a clone of that. Only did like 2 bombs before my friend had to leave, but it was so fun. Alright, so now what we're going to do is move this let's call this entity detect, and we will save this. Remove that. So entity detect, every player is going to have their own, and I just want to put you below it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is right, and then alright, let's see. What? You're wrong. Didn't I just give you a script? What happened? Oh, okay, that was weird. And it's not working. That's cool. Oh, because the process never got set to true, and now it's gonna crash. Okay. So now each player is going to have one of these. Alright? So the hosts is gonna enable all. We're gonna add all the bodies in there to that visible enemies thing once again. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted it all from the other guy, but you know, I don't really think more than 3 seconds ahead apparently. Fuck, I have to do homework. I'm gonna figure this out first. Let me think. This is more or less what we had a minute ago. It's just hopefully a little easier to organize. Let's see. So four-player peer-to-peer or two? Well, technically any amount of player peer-to-peer. This kind of just adds a new player for everyone who joins, and there's no max amount. Or maybe there's a max amount. Hold on. Yeah, I guess it goes up to 16 players. But this is not a Zelda Battle Royale, so don't expect more than more than that. Let's see. Okay. So, back to this. I have no idea how any of this works, but it looks cool. Yeah, same. So now, let's see if this works. Nope. So it's getting all that. Oh. Should not be a string. Alright, so that works for player 1. Now we need to combine all the other players' stuff. Yeah, I don't understand any of this. I understand just enough about networking to sometimes get things to kind of work. But peer-to-peer I have a much better handle on than authoritative server, which kind of makes me want to die. And that's what I was doing with my FPS game. Let's just see about this. No, it's the same thing. Why? No, okay. No, I do know why. I don't know how to fix it, but... Well, no. Ugh, fuck. Player 2's sword is barely working now. Also, that wasn't right. Alright, things are a lot more broken than they were earlier. This is only working for player 1. Player 2 is not. I could kind of understand why the positions wouldn't be updated for player 2 in this case before the player goes there. But I don't understand why the player being in here can't activate them. Okay, that's a start. Okay. Here. Alright, so it's something with the camera not being initialized, or the entity detect not being initialized soon enough. Can you damage them while they're not active? No. Alright, does this crash player 1? No. Alright, that's working. Everything works fine for player 1. Just nice to hear. Player 2 won't do shit. Is it still crashing? Invalid set index. But oh my god. Alright, back to where we were. Everything's still kind of fucky. Oh. All of it's fucky, it's not functional. Crash. Why? Buddy, please. I was supposed to. Alright, so once it's like, once the player walks in there and initializes it for player 2, then it is aware. So that's a start. So it is aware that there's another enemy here. However, it's not sending him to not sending him to the server here. Where does the host keep track of the client camera? The host does not keep track of the client camera. And I don't want the host to keep track of the client camera. I just want the client to figure out what's visible on the current screen using entity detect, and then tell the host, here's what I see, and then the host will handle it all from there. It's printing something else somewhere else that I don't want. Wait, what? Oh, yes. So client enemies is an empty array on the host. That's good. but as soon as something else connects, it should. Okay. What? What? It's not helpful at all. Not helpful. Whatever. Ugh, on. What if host just sends out an enemy ID exists, was killed, multicast, broadcast every... Well, it's not about the clients knowing something that's happening to the host, it's about the host not knowing anything that's happening to the client. Wait, I think I'm fucking stupid. The reason I did all of this in the first place... I think I'm dumb. Hold on. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm not necessarily gonna fix this right now, but I am dumb. Hold on. Yeah, I had an idea on what to do, and then I just went out and did some other shit that was unnecessary. Okay, I might have to rewrite that all, but I just need a clean slate right now. The reason I made these is because these only need to exist on the host. And the host will keep track of all of these, and it will combine all of those itself. But instead, I did the exact same thing I did in the first place, just with a more convoluted method, because my mind was still on that, and I'm dumb. So, if get tree is network server, entity detect, add to group to detect. So let's see if this crashes anything. Oops. Okay, that's what I expect. Now, in game, so in the end, host will keep track of what the client should be seeing. Well, yeah, the host is... Well, no, not necessarily. Well, the host is handling all the enemies, period. Also, hey Maxim. The host is handling all the enemies, period. The client's just also there, and... Yeah, the host is handling what the client... Not what the client should be seeing, what the client is seeing. So wherever the client is, then, yeah, that's going to be... Yeah, the host is keeping track of that. The client is... So yeah, I was wrong earlier, but like I said, I'm an idiot. So, visible enemies... 4. Okay, visible enemies needs to be outside. In Okay. So now here's the running list of all the visible enemies. Now, for enemy in no, for enemy in get tree get nodes in group enemy. If visible enemies has enemy dot set physics process to true. Else that Chinese food we had is actually destroying my. That was like 3 days ago, dude. Enemy set physics process. Oh, okay. That's cool. Alright. So that's working in single player. And check this out, it's also going to work in multiplayer, that's a fact. Check this shit out, guys. Alright, no, it's still just as broken as it was before. Why? Why? Oh, sorry, Max. Oh, I'm gonna shoot myself. I need some help. How? Wait, what? Something's still not right. This buddy right here. Yeah, it's not updating there. Enemy detect is not updating. Okay. Well, we need to set its position to the get grid position of whatever. Okay, so this is gonna look similar to the camera code. Player. Okay. Don't care about that. If player is null, return. Otherwise, we're going to copy this shit. So let's see if this did anything. Alright. Okay, so that's working. The question is it gonna work with player 2? Please, please, please. Now player 2, here's my prediction. Player 2 is still gonna have the issue where it's not appearing on other things, it's all in the corner. But maybe player 2 will now be able to enable and disable other entities. Yes! 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 Watch, player 2 is going to go in here and it's going to enable on both screens. Yes! It's functional! Oh my god. God, that was a pain in the ass. Guys, look, it's working. Wait, what's with the corner? So it's not that these are invisible on player 2's side, it's that they're all in that corner. And then as either player 1 or player 2 walks into the other areas, they get working. Now here's my question. if I add in another player after enemies are killed, will they all be back alive? No. It worked. Why is it working? I didn't make it work. If I were to theoretically send this to one of y'all, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy, but theoretically, you could just hop into these games mid-game, and the enemies will still be working a-okay. And as long as there's not a million enemies per room and everyone's in different rooms, then on the networking, it should be fine. Why wouldn't it work? I thought that my assumption was that once the player joins, it'll... Because the way I thought of it was, if things weren't synced manually, then it won't be synced at all. And I didn't sync it manually, so I thought that it was going to have whatever the game state was at the beginning as if it was the game just started. But no, apparently deleted objects, it'll delete from their game state as well. Because it's not like one static server where all the things are happening in its own way. It's basically just everyone starting with a specific set, and then, like, you know how, like, if you're playing netplay on, like, I guess this is pretty niche, but like how things could desync if you're playing netplay on an emulator. I thought that it would be something like that. Now make it PvP. It actually was PvP earlier, but then I decided PvE was more fun. Well, ask the host for the game state, right? Well, apparently, yeah, but I thought that I would have to tell them what the game state was, but I didn't tell them what the game state was. It just happens. So that was a pleasant surprise. Well, ask the host for the game state of the current room. Oh, you know what? You know what's happening? Those enemies were all still there. They were just in that corner again. Did you notice that? So yeah, it's like kind of working. And what I could do is, as long as... Here. This is gonna make it... This is a band-aid solution. This means if people walk into that corner up there, we just have to make sure that corner is always filled. But we're just gonna hide them, and for all intents and purposes, it's gonna work fine. Except that room's gonna lag for new players because all of the enemies that were already killed by other players are still gonna be alive for that player. So if that player has a bad computer, then that one specific room might lag. Maybe. It shouldn't lag that much because the only code that's going to be running is, oh, if blah blah blah, then return. But the collisions are still happening. We can just disable collisions though. So, yeah. If enemy is outside boundaries, kill enemy and respawn inside. Well, I can't just kill enemy and respawn, but there's a lot of... The spawning mechanism itself happens once and it can't repeat, and maybe that's something I should explore later. But what I'm just gonna do is hide it and also disable collisions. So what is this called? Just gonna copy from here. Zero to 1 and 0 to 0. Actually, I'll set both of these. Alright, so now it should be good on performance and on everything and whatever. Alright, I'm concerned. Oh, no. Oh, that's what I just did. Yeah. It hides them. Okay. That's concerning. That is concerning. Guess I just had to... Let's start with this. In fact, I'm not gonna worry about collisions right now. I think if they're not processing, then collisions won't matter anyway. Let's go with that. Yeah, duh. If they're not processing, then it's not gonna matter. Anyway. Okay, well, it's still broken. Okay, then we'll do, what do I want to call this? B, how about that? Alright, this is gonna work perfectly. I am 100% confident in this. Yeah. And yeah. Alright. Didn't work perfectly. Very upset with myself. It's working for player 1. Player 2 is not getting any of that, unfortunately. But I RPC'd. What the heck? What in the hell? Oh, I need to do homework, and then I gotta get ready for Spider-Man. I didn't do anything today. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Well, it's gonna be another hour because I need to figure this out. Work. Please. You're seeing Spider-Man again? Yeah, I'm seeing Spider-Man again, and if you want to see Spider-Man, I'll watch it again. That movie's freaking great. I just need to fix this. You know, a week ago I might have fought you. Or, no, a week ago I might have agreed with you, but if you haven't seen Far From Home, you gotta go watch Far From Home. Also, see, it's syncing all this stuff, so the network's getting all fucky. See how he's glitching around? Alright, forget the hiding stuff. Well. No. Forget it. Forget it. No longer care. Just gonna not let the player ever see that. Easy. Theoretically, the player will only really see 1 pixel of that once these cameras are zoomed back in. But see how okay everything's working right now? Let's zoom back in. Okay, well that's pretty visible actually. We'll just cover it. Now my question is, how will this look walking in a new room? Will it take a second for them to appear? Yeah, but that's fine. That's expected. What wasn't expected was the fact that any of this is working at all, so I'm good. I watched New Arachnoid Humanoid, but I can't keep up with the MCU, honestly. Well, fucking get to it, dude. I mean, for Far From Home, the only movie you have to watch beforehand is Endgame. And for Endgame, the only movies you have to watch before that is, like, all of them, so, you know. Well, I mean, honestly, you could just watch Infinity War, then watch Endgame, then watch Far From Home. Oh, you have to watch Homecoming as well. Yeah, just watch all of them, dude. That should have been 72, not 64. Whatever. Who cares? This should put the camera back into correct placement. Ah, see, that's barely noticeable. It's all good. Last MCU movie watched was Iron Man 1. Alright, I'm mad at you. You haven't seen Avengers? You haven't seen the first Avengers? What a bummer. Watch all the MC movies and go to terrible superhero movie burnout. Or just watch all of them and fucking enjoy them because they're amazing, and just because they're superheroes doesn't put them in a different class of movies. Some of them are just plain action, some of them are comedies, some of them is, only a couple of them are spy movies. They're all just different kinds of movies with different kinds of characters. And then down the line, those characters start meeting up with each other. Which is just a fun time. And at that point, you already love all the characters. Alright, what do I want to do with this? I think I spent a good half the stream doing all that enemy stuff. I gotta make it so the enemy hurt effects are visible on player 2 side. That's something I could do. Also, something I could do to make sure new players don't have the other enemies in there. I could keep a running list of every enemy that was killed, and then once a new player joins, it'll refer to that list, and then blah blah blah. So that's an option, but I'm not gonna do that right now, cause it's lazy. Yeah, I think I'm getting bored. I don't know that. Put a bunch of items in a room full of enemies and see if they show on both instances. Well, spoiler alert, they won't, because I'll have to spend another hour trying to make it happen. The next enemy I'd need to add is the Moblin, and sinking the arrows should be easy. That's my guess. Dude, who would even want to play this game anyway? This game's... Fuck. Why am I making this? Alright, I need to make a new GIF for my Twitter. That's what I need to do. I'm sorry that I'm being so grumpy, y'all. I'm just sleepy. Just noticed you're using the old layout. Are you talking about on this? Well, you'd play it if it was a good game, which it's never gonna get to that point. I don't know. I need a volunteer to just I need a volunteer to play this as I record a GIF. Preferably someone on Windows. Anyone on Windows right now who could play this game for like 3 seconds and then just so I could record a GIF. If you'd play a multiplayer Zelda, just play 4 Swords. Cause this game bad. Let's just make an MMO, guys. Maxim, are you still there? Well, now that I had to ask you to do something, you're gone. Bet. I'll just record this myself. Frankstein, you're on Windows. Okay. Hold up. I'm about to message you on Discord. Your file is too powerful. Cool. Ignore that. Four Swords was on 3DS for a limited time. Now there's Triforce Heroes, which I hear was a decent game, but only if you had friends. And I played it at lunch once. Oh yeah, Four Swords Adventures was on the GameCube. Four Swords was on the Game Boy Advance. Then there's Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube, and then there's Four Swords Anniversary Edition. Alright guys, if you copy down this link fast enough, you could play this too. Oh, just kidding. Alright, Frank Stein, I sent it to you. Oh man, how am I gonna... Do I have ShareX open? Yes. Guess I'm just gonna use ShareX. Oh, I guess you need my IP address as well. Actually, no, I think it's in there automatically. Come on, Frank Stein. Counting on you. Yeah, the port's open. I've been... Yeah. Frank Stein. Please. You need permission? That's dumb. Hold up. Really? You can't just press the download in the top right? Whatever, it's shared. I mean, if he's playing on dial-up, it'll look fine to me. I think. No, it'll look buggy as fuck. I need that little blue man to pop up. Hey, okay, hold on, let me... Alright, go kill stuff. Follow me. Alright. Got my gift. Well, it looks like it's working. Alright. Ta-da! Hopefully that said client disconnected, otherwise it's not working. Or server disconnected. And now we got a little one of these. I don't like that line that's in the middle, but I won't complain. Alright, let's stick that bad boy on Twitter. Ship it. Y'all nerds talking about Linux. Yeah, you're better than us. We get it. It's not a battle royale. Okay, well, I've had enough. It works. It was more than I expected. I'm gonna hit end stream now. Thank you all for coming. I love doing these even if I sound very sleepy. It's just because I'm sleepy. But yeah, thanks for coming. Hop in my Discord, chat a bit. I don't know. I'll see y'all. Bye bye.